Hello guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to teach you how to make this mountain, or at least this style of mountain. So as you can see, it is a snowy mountain with some terracing going on, and it looks really good in my opinion. I've also exported this into Minecraft, but I don't have Minecraft on right now, so I'm not gonna show that right away. Uh, Let me just yeah, I'm gonna remake this style of mountain for you today. So let's start by putting in a radial grad, and the type is gonna be a diamond. And you might think, huh, a diamond? Why? That's weird. But it's gonna make sense later, so don't worry. Um, it's already gonna make a lot of sense really shortly because we're gonna put in some simple displacement and an advanced purlin. So let me just copy this one over. Um, This advanced purlin is pretty much just at hills, a little bit increase of steepness and a little bit of decrease in persistence. That's pretty much it. So you can just copy over my settings. And now if we look at this, let me just get a new seed so we can actually get something unique. As you can see, as we put up our strength, our mountain starts to turn into something that actually looks good. So now I'm just gonna put in a different seed a few times to see if I can get something nice. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, that's cool because you can still kind of see this right here. But I'm not sure. No, I'm gonna choose another seed. So really, all this is just playing around with the shapes, with the combiners, with the everything until you get a nice result. So I like that. So what we can do now is we can just get another advanced purlin, unlock our preview. Um, and what we can do is we can decrease our persistence a little bit again. Um, Decrease our steepness. So this is a little bit different from this one because this is literally at standard settings and I just made this look a little bit like this. Let me just get rid of the ugly lighting. I actually genuinely like that, so let me just grab a new seed a few times so we can get something a little bit more special. Ooh, I like that one. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a combiner, plug that in really quickly, and the combine mode is gonna be root, and you want to put it at maximum strength. So as you can see, we've got a nice looking mountain shape now. What we can do is we can increase this elevation center and steepness even more, and our mountain will become more pronounced, which is something I actually quite like. Now we're gonna get into the terracing because, well, now we're at this stage, and this one looked like this. And this one looks a little bit like this. I might change that up later. I mean, it's a non-destructive workflow because of the nodes, so we can always change things later. Yeah, let's put in our terracing node, and I'm just gonna go over that pretty much in depth because if you look at this, this looks nothing like this, which means we're gonna have to change a lot of settings. So first, I put in a gradient on the terrace modulation. That is really important because then instead of having straight lines, you will get these slanted lines. And that looks really cool and realistic, which is, of course, something you always want. So let's make that. So put in a gradient like this. this terrace modulation. Lock the preview, change the gradient a little bit. So here we can see that's pretty much where the mountain ends. And now we can kind of make it however we want. And now this still does not look like what we had. So I'm gonna decrease terrace shape a little. And give you more like this rectangle kind of look, even decrease it a little bit more, actually. Make that look good. Okay, nice. We can also go for smooth, actually. I'm not sure, though. Does that look good? That actually looks a lot better. Let's use that. You know, you always find out new stuff along the way, which is really nice. We're gonna put up our terraces to something like 10, and the terrace layering up to 8. And that will give you something like this, which is really nice. And now we have to limit this terracing to only affect this part of the mountain, which we can simply do by, as you can see, got this terrace, and this is the mountain, and so we want to limit it to that. So we're gonna take this mountain, and we're gonna put it into the mask. Really, really simple. And as you can see, this is the effect it gives. Now what we can do is we can put a clamp into that, and we can expand that a little bit. So we get more terraces, and they will be sharper, which is also a really nice touch. Alright, so now we can start eroding our terrain, and I used 2 different erosions. One I used for pretty much the part of the mountain. So that would be an erosion that works really well with terraces. So I just literally chose this preset, and well, let's see. Yeah, I just called that a day pretty much. And what I did then is I used a combiner, no, a chooser with a select height. So I can do that really quickly as well. By the way, this one is on a different preset, just classic world machine plus power. But of course, if you put that, you cannot see the terraces anymore, because this is a really powerful erosion preset, so you cannot see any of the terraces now. You can leave it like this, and you'll have a pretty good looking realistic mountain actually, but I really want to go for the terraced effect, so that means we're gonna have to put a chooser. So connect that up. Whoops. And oh, World Machine sometimes does weird stuff. We're gonna put in a select height between this and connect that up to the terrace. And now we can pretty much just play with these settings. All right. And now if we look at this, you will see that we have a really nicely eroded mountain. Now, something that I would actually like to do is change this, actually. To be something ever so slightly different. Something with a little bit more character. Which means we're gonna make it bigger. Now, if we look at this, this should look a lot different. Of course, building the erosion always takes some time. I'm outputting this at 124. And as you can see, we've got these slanted erosion lines. Now, if we want the erosion to take place, say on this side, we can simply lock our preview onto this. You can kind of see the lines here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the direction of this. As you can see, it's changing, it's changing, it's changing, it's changing, it's changing, changing. Somewhere like that, probably. So just wait a little while for that to build. And voila, we've got our terraces in here as well. Now, what you want to do is you just want to kind of play with this a little bit more and see what works for you, see what you like, see what settings are perfect for you, which is something really important. By just playing with these settings is actually a really good way to learn World Machine and take notice of new features that you haven't really seen before or haven't really tested out before. So now, I like this. Yeah, I like this. So let me just change this Berlin again to make it more to my liking. See what that is going to do. All right. And now I would actually like the erosion to be right here. So that is exactly what I'm going to do, because now the erosion is here. I mean the terracing, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to grab the gradient and change the direction again. Something like that. I just kind of look at the preview and see what it's going to look like. Of course, it's hard to see in the preview, but you can kind of see the faint lines of the terracing, which is enough of an indication of where it's going to take place. So now, this looks really cool, actually. I like this. I like this a lot. Now, I can also take this select height and put that down a notch to get more of the, like this kind of erosion, and only delete down here the really extreme erosion stuff going on. So now, for the coloring, it is this really complicated node setup, and I'm going to go over it, and as you will notice, it is really not that hard. So, um, yeah, what I did is I took a clamp, and I just want to genuinely see how I did it. All right, that's not too hard. You can do that, trust me. So what you want to do is you want to take a clamp and you want to take the wear map of this and you want to make it as defined as you possibly can. So put it on expand and just kind of do that and just kind of that to kind of make it how you like it. So let's see. That looks pretty cool. Now, as you can also see, this only takes place where I defined it to take place, which is here. Now this combiner is on multiply, which is a really useful mode because a mask, it's kind of like a mask. So as I do this, you can see that this will only take place where this is present. So what you get is kind of like a masked output. But now we get something that we don't want, which is kind of like this drop off. We just want a hard edge, which we can do simply by taking another clamp and putting it on expand and doing that. Now as you can see, we barely have drop off. We still have a little bit. So let me just get rid of that. There we go. Now there should be no drop off at all. As you can see, everything is defined nicely. So I think I can still take this one up a notch, which is nice. I only want black and white, really important. Only black and white, so you can do that with clamps on expand mode. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select a slope just from this one. We're going to select almost everything. We're going to select almost everything. So now if we build this, you can see that there's a lot more going on. But if we combine these two, which we are sure as hell going to do, you can see that now it looks a little bit like this, which is really nice. So now what we can do is we can get a chooser, and this is going to be our control, and then we can put just any colors that we want. Thank you. Lock my preview on that, and now if I choose white, click OK, you can see that this is white and that is gray, which is something I don't want. Let's flip that around really quickly, and as you can see, we have really easily and quickly made our mask. Now, to just quickly show you what this would look like in some sort of lighting, sorry. I'm just going to quickly copy this stuff over. Big lightning, primary output, take you, high plus shade. I've got it on that mode. And boom. Terraced, eroded mountain. Really good stuff. Really nice stuff. So we can, of course, change more stuff to our liking. We can really just do whatever we want by changing the seeds around and getting a different look and feel, even though the style will be exactly identical. So now we get something like this. This looks really good. This looks so good. I love this. This is really nice. So yeah, this actually, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. That is amazing. Let me just quickly get the terrace and put the shape down even more. It'll look even better probably. I think so. I hope so. Just more like you get like these really faint terrace lines in it, and well, yeah, that looks great. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. This is how you make eroded terraced snow mountains. And the main thing that you could probably take out of this tutorial is the coloring. Pretty neat way of coloring your terrain with the actual erosion maps of the terrain. But I think the most important thing that you could have learned in this tutorial is the masked and really like the sloped terracing, because that is something you actually see quite a lot in real life, but doesn't like nobody really uses this, even though it looks super realistic. So yeah, this is how you create incredibly realistic maps in your game. You know, you can import this into your game, and you will have a incredible looking snowy mountain. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something, and goodbye.